Yo, 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 yo. It's the Perspective Podcast. It's your boy B Sims here with Cale,
We
and
back.
we have not recorded a video, posted it in 10 months.
We
But
back, baby. We
we had
back.
we had a lot going on. We had a lot going on. So Cale give a little bit of life update, everything's been going
Uh,
on. It's been good, man.
when we last left off, we were both in different states, different points of our lives. I mean,
Yep.
we're not new men now, but we have a lot of change. I mean, last episode came out 10 months ago. I was still in college in an apartment. My teammates still in school, obviously, at my grad school in Ohio, and then now I'm back home, pretty much. I mean, you want me to kind of go into what's been going on? You want me to go first, and then you go? How you want to do it, Sims?
Yeah, you can go first, man. It's been a lot. Been a lot of things happening, but just what took us a minute to come back.
Gotcha. I mean, I guess I'll start from the top. So, first thing is, not to get too sad, but I ended my last year of basketball. I did get hurt my shoulder, and I mean, never really planned on going pro, anyways. But that definitely, brought my career to a halt. So that was the first thing last spring around this time. Next thing is I got done with school. How I got done, I made a whole video about that. You can go subscribe to my channel if you want to watch the video on that. We're going to get into the details. We ain't got enough time for
And my,
that tonight.
yeah.
Yep. But and then next, I got my house. So early on into the summer, late spring, I guess, late
What do
spring,
you,
early summer, I got my house.
how
23.
old were you when you first moved?
I was 22
23.
when I got my house, but I'm
That's what
23
I was
now.
thinking. Yep.
Yeah. So got my house. I guess started my career. The job I work for now, I really like. So I mean, I guess I'm into my career. And again, if you go back to my YouTube, I now have a really really nice recording room, streaming room, however you want to phrase it. I mean, that's kind of the biggest things that's going on with me. I'm debt free now, something else big, but I mean, got hurt, got done with school, got my house, found my career. I'm more invested now into my streaming stuff, and here I am now. I mean, that's kind of the major things that's gone on with me since our last episode. Cut my hair too. I mean, I guess if you want to count that, but yeah. What about you, man? What's been going on?
Man, uh, I just look some. um, but definitely getting out of school, finishing my last year of basketball track. Um, filled with the summer, trying to go pro, navigate through that. Definitely, I could not say harder, but I learned a lot through the process. And I tried out for a G League team hometown. Went to a track meets. I did a lot of stuff in the summer along with working my job.
Uh-huh.
But biggest thing for me that happened early this year, I got married to my
Yes, sir.
long, long time. Just we've been here since middle school, so it was just beautiful. And this guy on this screen right here was my best
I was
man,
there.
and so yeah, he was there. He was there. He towered over top of me. It was my day, but everybody was like, "Who is that tall guy?" So it was a good day. We moved here to Atlanta now, so I'm in Atlanta. I got kills in Charlotte, but we still managed to we met up last week in Charlotte, so we still man, we got to get back on it. So I mean, life is great. Married life is great. Just continue. I'm working remote at my job and doing my business with graphic design, and we got to get back on Perspective Pod. We know we got some room to grow. We know we don't really have a following. It's some people probably listening that don't even know our story and thing, but we know that one day we're gonna have a following. We're gonna have a fan base where we can look back on videos like this and people can relate to our stories. So we just appreciate you all for watching, for listening, and we just excited to get going to get this
Yeah.
back up because it's something that we want to do. I mean, we talk on the phone about these big topics and things that go on in our country, but we don't really we've just now gotten back to it. So it's a lot that's going on in the world, and transitioning to when we were in Charlotte, we have long, deep conversations. And one of the conversations that I think that is I don't know if it's pressing, but it's very alarming. Like we talk about homelessness, we talk about jobs and different things. And you go into big cities and you look in big cities. So I'm in Charlotte, just driving
Mm-hmm.
down. My wife and I were driving down to the big city. 2, 3, 4 blocks pass by, you start to see Charlotte Hornets Stadium, Carolina Panthers Stadium, and you get deeper into the city, and less than a few minutes from these big entities, you have poor neighborhoods, you have roads that aren't paved, you have, people that you might see on the side of the road, and my heart really goes out for those people because Kale, I remember um you said this a few years ago during the pandemic era where it was like the kind of the sides were being chose, but entertainment over equality. And
Yeah.
equality isn't just with the race. It could be with financial status, it could be with um who you know. And so it just made me think about having a conversation about how we'll have, you know, or I'm in Atlanta, so we'll have Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and I researched roughly in 2023 it made $900 million. So,
Hmm.
but I'm thinking, how could that money be allocated for other things like more homeless shelters or more job placement entities that people could be a part of? So, I just
Yeah.
wanted to
I
start that
mean,
question off of like how, how when you see that over the years and you've been in Charlotte, how does it make you feel, and how do you think like gentrification? We could just say gentrification. How does gentrification make you feel, and what about that do you think could be changed?
yeah. I mean, I guess to answer the question, how it makes me feel. I mean, it just makes you feel kind of like questiony, which isn't the word, but you just question like why. I mean, me and my coworkers have talked
Yeah.
about this. I mean, I can only speak for Charlotte. I know sometime late last year, in the second half of the year, Charlotte announced like the city of Charlotte, not like a private business was making money. I know Brian talked about Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and I can see some people now saying that's a private business. What does that have to do with the city? Whatever. But I know last year the city of Charlotte announced that they were going to build a new tennis stadium, which I think was like over $100 million. That the city was going to, the city's going to pay for, which really means us taxpayers are going to pay for it. And that's what I'm saying. Like the thing I have on my Instagram, entertainment over equality. I'm sure in any major city you could drive somewhere and find somebody that's homeless, kids that are hungry, people that need money at the end of the day, but need financial stability, financial literacy, things like that. But like I said, Charlotte decided, yeah, we got all these issues. We got roads that need to be paved, things like that. We got all these issues, but let's build a new tennis stadium. Not really sure who in the city. I know no citizens are asking for that, but that's what I'm saying. I think with gentrification or anything like that, I think it's just really a disconnect between the people who work for the city, like the council, mayors, politics, things like that. I think it's just a disconnect from what they want versus what we want. And I'm about to let Brian get the mic, but like I told Brian, I feel like major cities make themselves more attractive for visitors and tourists than they do people who
Mhm.
live there. So, like on the outside
Fact.
looking in, you looking at Charlotte, Atlanta, Vegas, New York, San Francisco, major cities, Chicago. It looks good. Like man, let's go there for a weekend. That's what you think. You think let's go there for a short period of time, and it's a big city. Vegas, Atlanta, Charlotte, Chicago, New York. I mean, let's go there for a short period of time, have some fun. And it's fun for that short period of time, but once you live there and you see things, like you said, I mean, Charlotte is the bank capital of the world. It's a lot of banks' headquarters
Mm.
are in Charlotte. I mean, there's a lot of money, a lot more money than people realize in Charlotte. So we know the city has money, uh, but it's like you said, you drive past the truest headquarters, Bank of America Stadium, the Spectrum Arena, Bojangles
Yeah,
Coliseum. You
beautiful.
drive past these places. Yeah, you drive
Yeah.
past these places, and a few minutes later, you're in a project, you're in a hood, you're on a road that hasn't been paved probably since I was a little kid. I mean, it just makes you question, like I said, who is calling the shots and why. It's a disconnect.
Yeah. I mean, who is calling the shots and why and what is valued? Like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people bring up, whether you work a job. I heard somebody say individually, oh, they gave an example of a water bottle. They said a water bottle at the gas station costs this much money. A water bottle at Walmart costs this much money. A water bottle at the airport costs this much money. And the value, the message was, you go, don't let what your value at some place or how people perceive your value to be at some place really define what you really are, because you can get a water bottle for $1.59 at the gas station, but on the airport, at the airport or on the plane, it costs $4 or $5, depending on where you're at. And so that perceived value that we have individually, we want to value ourselves higher than anyone else. But it goes back, this conversation goes back to, from collectively, that was an individual example. How are certain things and certain people valued? Because I mean, I'm assuming anybody that's been to an NBA game, NFL game, college football, college basketball game, you know those ticket prices are pretty high. So you value and you allot time to go there. I went to the SEC championship last year, and thankfully I didn't have to pay for the tickets, but I knew the value of those tickets, and also I I know some people allot out that in their budgets, in their banking accounts, and they know, hey, I gotta go to this game, so I value this time. But we'll see somebody on the side of the road, um, that could be jobless, homeless, having ate in a few weeks, or having ate a few days, and I look at them and their value of, well, what did they do to get there, or
Yeah,
why didn't they just go to school? Why didn't
and I
they
mean,
just do it the right way? And it's like, it goes to show you, sometimes I think in these examples, what we put our value in, we attribute so much of what we have to us. You know what I mean? Like, nobody got here by yourself. Nobody is able to be successful by yourself. And then, what I believe, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for God. So I can't.
yep,
It's like, it frustrates me, and we're one of those people, Kill. Like Madison, my wife Madison was like, "Yo, let's go to Charlotte. Everybody talks about Charlotte. It's nice and it is beautiful. You bring up all of those buildings, and we go through it, and you're driving and you keep going. It's like, what does this city value? What does America value? And
yeah.
in grand scheme of things, go ahead.
Yeah, and I mean something else too. Like it's more than just homelessness, things like that. You could argue, like I said, $100 million they spent on that tennis court. That can go to. I'm sure there's some teachers in Charlotte, in certain counties in North Carolina that would
Yeah, I was.
love to get a pay raise, or love to maybe get some more paid training, or love to have better equipment in the classrooms. I mean, I remember growing up, some teachers couldn't even give us pencils because you got kids who come from poor families that can't afford it. Teachers don't get paid enough to go buy a box of pencils, of notebooks, everybody. I mean, that stuff adds up. So again, it's more than just what we see on the roads. I mean, if teachers are getting paid more, I'll drive over some more potholes. You get what I'm saying? But it's like teachers are not getting paid more. The roads are still messed up. People homeless. People need food. People need so much, and it's like, but I go to Google and I search something, and we get in a new sports complex. Like we got
Mhm.
enough sports here, and I mean I get it. Stuff like that is an investment because that stuff is going to bring the city more money. But it's also like invest in the people now. Like building a new sports
Yeah.
complex, you're projecting out years. We got to get ticket sales. We got to pay off certain people, construction, yada yada. But you invest in teachers now and people now. I mean, that literally raises the value of your city almost instantaneously. A new bill came out.
Yeah.
Teachers in North Carolina now have to make at least 70K a year, no matter the grade level.
Yeah.
Like, not I mean, maybe not that number, but it's like something like that. That can be, I feel like, a little more quicker return on your investment versus we got to build a new sports complex. That's gonna take 3 to 5 years. Then it's gonna take a few more years for enough ticket sales and ad revenue to pay us back for that. It's like people don't even want that. People want the roads paid. They want homeless people off the roads. People who are homeless want a house. I mean, it's bigger than just I guess what you see on the streets.
Yeah, and but to me, it all goes back to value, because when you know that entertainment, concerts, games, conferences will bring in that revenue, I don't mind taking 3 to 5 years investing in that. But if we don't value education worldwide, but we value entertainment, which, I mean, as we talked about in previous episodes, you do not have to be successful going to school, but a lot of reason why some people are looking at the traditional way to make money, to go to school, to get a trade, is because you're looking at it like, okay, they're telling me to do the traditional route, go to school, get a job, but I'm looking at inflation. I'm looking at how much it costs to live, and I'm like, why
You're
would
looking at how much we're not
you know,
getting
I need
paid, how pay wages haven't gone
how much
up.
I'm not getting paid? And it's like, if I have a like you have a passion of teaching, and life is everything isn't about money, but I see that the country values entertainment. Why wouldn't I have a sector in that, invest in something in that? So I think the biggest thing for me, and I know we're gonna talk about like the election year and all of that, but the biggest thing for me is just, you know, can it be different? That's my question. Like I'm in the position that we always talk about what can be done. I'm in one of those positions now. I've heard a lot of people, what can be done? Why hasn't these things been done? And I understand that it's easy to talk about homelessness, teachers not getting paid, inflation, joblessness, all of that stuff, poverty rate, and be on the outside looking in. I can easily say things need to be done, but how do they change? Like, how does it get better? Or what did it take for us to be in this position that we're in? So I feel like we're having conversations, but how did we get to this point? How did the value shift and change from a consumer standpoint? Because I'll leave work early to go to a game, but I just don't value everything the same. So it's to me, it's that's the question. I think that whether it's a politician listening or there's entities, just like how do we know or how do we determine putting money to a certain cause that can change the poverty rate? Like, like how does that work? Because we talk about military and how the United States of America will invest trillions of dollars to other nations for certain things that go on, but we have so many things that struggle in our country. How do we determine what goes where? Or why doesn't certain money go to, like, this seems like a pressing issue, you know, Atlanta, just the jobless, or I was looking up something earlier of
Mm-hmm.
the poverty rate of like 21.5%. So people can be working and still technically under the poverty line. So how do we
Mm-hmm.
change that? But we come. I'm saying, like, I'm just trying to relate to you because I'm 24, you 23. All we can do is really say things need to be done. Things need to be done. But what things can be done, and who can change those things?
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
it's
you know what
like
I mean? Like,
yeah, I feel like a common answer to that is people gonna say vote, but I mean, I feel like that's another rabbit hole. I feel like people just gonna say whatever they can to get your vote. And once they get in there, we gonna do what we want to do. I mean, I can't remember the last time I've heard of a city or a state mayor, governor, president doing something that the people wanted. Every time I hear about a mayor, is a mayor proved something, and the people in the city are complaining about it. Like, I cannot remember the last time I've heard somebody in a position like that, I guess more of a political position, do something and people were like, "That's what we asked for. That's exactly what we wanted. That's exactly what we asked for." I mean, I don't know, bro. I mean, I don't know. I definitely think people forming together, groups, organizations, clubs, things like that would definitely help. But I mean, from the flip side, it's not hard to find out what people want. I mean, I know older generation bashes us for this, but social media is a tool. Like, it's a reason
yeah,
people phrase like that. It's a tool. Law enforcement uses it as a tool. You can use it as a tool to show you certain things that you want to see or find things you may not know about. You can literally go on social media, make polls, make things like that, hold events. I mean, just see what, like, if I'm a mayor, if I'm an assistant for a mayor, maybe I want to run the PR for the mayor, and we want to figure out what people are talking about in our city. You can quickly go
that's
on
true.
social media and find out. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's not hard to figure out what people want, and most people want the same things. They want good wages, they want affordable living, they want, probably not to see homeless people on the street. They probably want to drive on nice roads. I mean, it's not like across America. I get we're very diverse, but most people want generally the same things. The first two things I
Yeah,
named, almost everybody wants: affordable living and good wages. I don't know a person in America that would argue against that. Like,
facts.
but that's what I'm
And
saying,
then
bro. I mean, it's
like
just,
healthcare.
yeah, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It just, and I guess healthcare is more of a countrywide thing than statewide. But I mean, it's my thing is, like I said, they know what we want. They hear us. I mean, maybe not the president hears every little thing, but as you get lower and lower down the chain of command in terms of politics, mayors, governors, they know what we want. The governor knows what we want, and it just,
Yeah,
like I said, it's up to them how they feel in the moment to decide. But I mean, definitely forming clubs, organizations, and groups, things like that would definitely help. I mean, stronger together than you are individually, I believe. So, but it can definitely be very frustrating, man.
I think the another thing that getting into like politics, but the biggest thing when you got political parties, I see a lot of it's more competition than camaraderie. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm representing said party, I would rather my party have legislation that's ruling versus legislation that's actually helping stuff. And so the biggest thing, because our generation, you bring up social media. I mean, we're having a conversation, and one day, hopefully, this platform could potentially be able to make us revenue, make us money. So we live in an age of entertainment, of the modern day fireside chats are able to make the average person that just has an opinion some type of living. So it's a lot of non-traditional ways that are doing things. So I'm just saying, from a consumer standpoint, individually, I can non-traditionally make money, make a living. I can actually wake up in my bed, work from home, and actually get paid from just standing on my laptop with my job. So it's a lot of non-traditional things that I'm seeing the shift. Or why not, when it comes to collectively, let's get out of the tradition? Because I mean, when it comes to voting, let's get on that topic. I mean, in terms of voting, I mean, I'm 24, so I was only able to vote once, but for the president. But it's like we talk about Democrat, Republican. I'm thinking about now, man. I don't know. I'll vote for independent party. Like, it's just because it's just so much competition. You have one party fighting 4 years, throwing dirt on what the other party isn't doing, and vice versa. And it's like when we talked about in our last episode, if it's mass shootings, it should not be about you know what side is left or right. It should be about, we need to fix this problem, and we need to come together collectively, like you said, to address it. So for me personally, let's go ahead and get into the topic. So I know a lot of people that are African American vote because the right wasn't granted to us years ago. And
Mm-hmm.
so that a lot of people argue that that mentality to voting is not really valid. But to me, I think it still is, just because it is a right. Even though I know of the electoral college, you know, the person that I vote for, the candidate that I vote for, can win the outright popular vote and then still lose the electoral college vote. So it's a system put in place to be able to control who's in, who's out. That's what I believe. But I still truly say that it's a privilege. It's something as simple as going in, going to the poll, casting your vote, getting the sticker "I voted." That I still will vote and try to vote just because of that privilege that wasn't granted. But a lot of people are looking at voting and saying, "What's the point?" You know, especially if we don't vote, because I don't. But if we personally don't vote on the local level, then you can't really be upset with what candidates make it to the final I guess election, because you have the local votes, and then you vote for the Democratic Party candidate that's going to be representative. But what would you say, or what's your opinion on, I guess, our generation in specifics of us voting? Like, do you feel like we shouldn't just vote out of, we didn't have the privilege, and I'm blessed to have the privilege, I vote? Or are you coming from a standpoint of, it's really no point of voting based off of, like you brought up, we can vote for somebody that says everything they're gonna do, but they never really change anything? Like, what
Yeah, I
what would be your
mean,
response to that?
I think one of the things with our generation when it comes to voting is, I mean, like I said, like Brian said, I'm 23, he's 24. I guess the oldest of our generation maybe be 28, maybe 30. But in that same sentence, people in our generation, we've only voted either once, at the most twice. And so it's like, I
Yeah.
mean, it's once every 4 years. So we've pretty much barely done it. Imagine putting up one shot every 4 years and expecting it to go in or be a good shot. I mean, that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
bros. But it's, I don't know. I think it's between a rock and a hard place. Because especially for me, kind of like Brian said, my ancestors weren't able to vote. So even if I don't like either candidate or really know what's going on, I'll take some time, do some research, figure out some things I do like, and still vote just because it's a right privilege. On the flip side, I mean, you kind of feel like, does this even matter? I mean, it's millions of people in the country, for one. And then, two, like you said, I mean, we saw it in 2020. I'm not big into politics like I used to be, but we saw it in 2020. The person who
Yeah.
won the popular vote, which is literally what the people want, what the citizens of the country want. It's not every citizen, because
What do
everybody
you mean?
doesn't vote. Huh?
You mean 2016
Oh, yeah, 2016.
or?
Yeah, sorry. 2016. The popular vote was won by a certain party, a certain candidate, and they didn't become the president. But the popular vote is literally what the citizens of the country who voted, what they want. And it came out one way. But like Brian said, the electoral college put it the other way, and that's something I definitely think people forget. Like, I know every elections only happen once every 4 years, so memories get fogged. But that's something I think people truly forget is in 2016, the person who won the popular vote did not even win the election, which we know how the electoral college works, but that is huge to me. Like, you mean the person that most of the country wanted as president didn't become president? Why not? Oh, because these 270 people that no one knows about voted against it. Like, so 270 trumps however many people. That's what I'm saying though. That's why I feel like some people feel like the vote is pointless because 270
Yeah.
people, if they feel, I mean, I don't know what half of that is, but if half of them or 51% of them feel a different way than your vote, you can make the argument your vote doesn't matter. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. So it's like people want to vote because it's a right, it's a privilege, but at the same time, if 51% of people of 270 vote against me, it doesn't matter. So it's like there definitely has to be a better way, and I get why the electoral college is in place, but I don't know. I mean, 2016 that opened up my
You
eyes.
do?
Like, damn, like, huh?
So you think it's a rationale behind it? Like what do you think the rationale is?
Just because you could argue the people who are in the electoral college are probably more involved in politics and more smarter than the average citizen. So they're taking 270 smarter brains, or I guess supposedly smarter brains, people who are more involved, know more, in positions of more power, and they're kind of saying, "All right, y'all know more about politics than the average citizen. So what do y'all think? Who should be the president?" And what's it 2016? It was the one that Trump won. It was 2020. I know.
No, no. I the one, well, 2021 technically, but
Yeah,
because
yeah,
Hillary lost in 2016, but he was the president then. But well, okay,
yeah.
I kind of got a rebuttal, not a rebuttal, but just
Mm-hmm.
I disagree with the statement. I feel like they know better because it goes back to everything we've been talking
Yeah,
about the whole
yeah.
time. I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
it's
They
it's some it's
supposedly smarter.
yeah, supposedly smarter, but when it comes to relatability, I mean, because don't get me started when it comes to jobs and when it comes to the employer employee dynamic. I'm telling you, I feel like systematically, and I kind of want to get to this point. Systematically, we've been taught about control from over the years. I mean, we know the story of how the country was founded on. Why the country divided in the Civil War, and then now why certain things are the way they are. So I'm just thinking of the system that was put in place to me establishes and technically can continue to push that narrative of the control or of even if you agree or you choose a candidate, it's still a system in place to where certain people in certain seats can make a decision that really a lot of the problems that go on in America, people that are in those houses in the Senate, they're really not affected by it. And not saying that they didn't work hard to get there, that they're not intelligent, but you have people voting on things that they don't even relate to in their personal. So Supreme Court justices, to be exact, I mean, it's those what do they call it? The Supreme Court justice, like those the group of people. Like
The
it's
judges.
only you can look up, huh?
You talking about the judges, like the 9 people who sit on the at the
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I don't know why I couldn't think of that. But even then, you can look at their background, and it's like the only people that have been there have been in Harvard, Yale graduates, or certain educational um criteria that you look at. So my biggest thing with electoral college, with a lot of things happening in voting, is not that the system of voting, I think, is essential. I think, I mean, we're in a Democrat republic, so people should feel like their vote matters. But in essence, you have people saying, okay, well, first off, this person or this party doesn't relate to me. Second off, even if I vote for them, I've seen historically how even okay, even I'll give some presidents credit. Even if a president has something that they want to do, it's so many checks and balances that they have to go through to pass a bill, to sign something. You know what I mean? So it's like it's so many systems put in place, and it goes back into those parties, political parties. Is well, if it's dominantly Democrat, then anything that the Republicans suggest is always we don't want y'all
Yeah.
to. And it's like, why is that system in place? And we looking at the situations and the problems, and it's like, well, let's fix the problem. So we don't even, and I think I brought this up before, but I don't agree with everything George Washington did or said. But he said a statement when he was president before he left, saying that the detriment of the United States will be if you create political parties. That's what, in some words. So I'm gonna vote, but I'm interested to see as the year goes on to see conversations like we're having, how people are gonna say, "What's the point?" Because you got the
Yeah,
dynamic of the older generation and our generation. So we're seeing it as you got some of us, man. I got a podcast, I got my job remote, but I'm doing my thing. I'm not affected by it. I'm good. And you got some people that aren't informed by it. Like, I don't want to vote. So I just feel like it's gonna be interesting
my
this year to see conversations.
one thing I just thought of. I mean, this is like simple when it comes to debate. So let's just say hypothetically right now, we'll do a Cale
You just
comparison. Let's just say
okay.
Brian is the popular vote, and I'm the electoral college right now. If we agree, it's two of us, right? Two groups. If we agree, or if we disagree, how are we going to decide who to go with? It's two of us. You cannot have
Hmm.
a debate or a vote, and it's an even number. Like, correct me if I'm wrong.
Facts.
Is this the Supreme Court justice? Is it 9 of them or 7 of them? Isn't that an odd number?
Yeah, it's nine.
But
It's
that's
an odd
okay.
number, so
But
they can't ever
but that's what I'm.
have even.
Yeah. So with the popular vote and the electoral college, it's an even number. So if we disagree, there's nobody to say, well, we should go one way. I mean, we either need to, in my opinion, remove the electoral college or add a
That's
third
like
group, a third something. Yeah, I mean, I know it's not going to happen, but we need to get to an odd number. That way, we can say even if it's five different groups. You got the popular vote, electoral college, and three other whatever, however you want to phrase it, three other teams. But we need to have an odd number. That way, we can have a tiebreaker. Because, like I said, if the popular vote says we want Brian as president, and the electoral college says we want Cale as president, I mean, obviously we go with the electoral college because that's just how things work for who knows why, which is a whole nother conversation is why we go with them over what the citizens want. But my point is,
mhm,
Team A and Team B disagree, and the decision is 1-1. We gotta have either it just be 1-0 or 2-1, but you cannot have 1-1 because then you don't have a reasoning or a way to pick which side. But in America, just like how some things don't make sense, like how the IRS won't tell you how much money you owe, in America, the electoral college decides who becomes the
okay.
president no matter what. It's just one of
Now
those
that's
things that doesn't make any sense. It
it's not
just
it's not
applies in
balanced.
America. Yeah, it's
It's
not
not
balanced,
it's not balanced like you said.
but even
Yeah.
if it was balanced, even if the electoral college couldn't override the popular vote, either way, you cannot have 1-1. Like, it has to be either 2-1 or 1-0, but you have to have an odd number. That way, everybody's on the same page. But if the decision is split 1-1, it's just like a sports game. If it's 1-1, we're gonna keep playing until somebody gets that tiebreaker.
Mhm.
Till somebody scores again. I think except for soccer. Till somebody scores again, but we cannot finish. We cannot finish the game, finish the match, finish the whatever until somebody gets the extra oomph that puts them ahead. But again, in America, that's just how things work.
But that's where we go back to the question: why is the electoral college? Why is that one bigger than the popular? It's 270 people versus 300 million. We know why. We know why,
It's the
folks. I
elites.
just
It's
want
the elites.
I just want these questions to be talked about because it's just interesting, like how things are formatted. Because basically, the game. I feel like you brought up a great example, and I never really heard somebody say it needs to be a third thing to tie that to even that out
Or
or
just
to.
one. It just has to be an odd number. It could be 5, 7, 11. It has to be an odd number. It could be one.
But in your example, that's like saying, okay, you have two teams playing. If it's a tie game, one team is gonna win before, like, so it's just it brings up a good point, a good question. Why is that the system? And amendments have been put in place, different things have been done to revolutionize why isn't that something that needs to be pushed? And maybe in the next coming years, as this next generation or this older generation, they
Gets out.
transition, they go on, and maybe that those types of conversations can be had from our generation. People that are the next up and coming politicians and this and that. But even the aspect of you have to be 35 to be president, I personally believe. I don't want a 12-year-old as president, but I personally believe a president doesn't have to be 35. We got candidates, the most popular candidate that we think. one gonna be 80 and one gonna be 78 or whatever. So it's
but
like,
that,
in
but that,
reality, can a
mhm.
person that age and that mental capacity understand everything that's going on? I know
but
you
that,
got a team with you. I know you got your cabinet, but
but
go
that's what I'm
ahead.
saying though. Like, it's just something again that just don't make sense. It's just the way the rules we play by. So I have to be a certain age to be the president, but I can't age out.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. It's like you how you have a starter age or entry age, not an exit age in the military. I mean, I think in the military you got to be at least 18. I'm sure, but I think after
yeah, I
like
think 18.
35, you can, yeah, I think after like 35 you can't enlist. So if you 34, you can enlist, but after 35 you can't just join unless you have like a World War III. But that's what I'm saying. And historically in America, the age of retirement is 65. But it's like that's what I'm saying with just the way America works with some things. You got to be at least 35. But hey, if you 70, 80, 90, whatever, and we clearly see that now how that's going for us now. We got a president that can't even talk half the time and can't walk and yada yada. But that's what I'm saying. It's like it just don't make no sense. And like you said, obviously, I mean, a 20-year-old that's running probably not gonna win. A 30-year-old that's running probably not gonna win. I don't. I get why they have 35 because they at least want you to live some life. 35, I feel like, is a good middle point between young people and older people. Maybe 40, you could argue, but like the bottom line is you shouldn't be able to be 70, 60. I mean,
Let me
Biden,
look
what's
up who it
Biden,
is.
80? I think Kennedy was
He
he
81.
was like 40 something. Yeah. I think Kennedy was like
40.
43 or something.
Oh, they said Teddy Roosevelt was 42.
42. So that's what I'm saying though. And it's like Biden is 81. He's born what's that, the 60s? No. The 40s?
Or 60s. Yeah, my dad was born in the 60s. And
Yeah.
he 50 something.
Biden Biden born in the 40s and it's like it's 2024. Like what you get what I'm saying, bro? And it is not saying that old people are unfit for certain things,
Mhm.
but I mean, I think everybody can agree like there should be an age limit on certain things, and there are. You can't join the law enforcement, FBI, military after a certain age because you're just not mentally fit properly, and yet not physically fit. I mean, but it's just interesting. Like you said, you got to be at least 35. But hey, we can literally watch somebody's brain deteriorate, and that's the president we got because there's nothing in place to kick him out. We got
Well,
to stick
and
him
I
out these
mean,
next 4 years.
and like you said, it's not for ageism. All the isms people are using that, but it's not discriminating anyone that's older because I know some people that are very sharp and some people that are really sharp at 81. But I think it goes back into what we value, and we need to value people's health. We need to value what people consume, and I just feel like you can't really have a system put in place without being able to uproot the system, change the system, and not just for your benefit. So it's a lot of things that I think that we are passionate about as the next generation, or as the younger generation comes up, that we wish that could change. Things could change. I mean, like one of the biggest things we talk about. We've talked about this before, but we look on social media, we look on different platforms, and you see a lot of people with jobs or people with saying my education is, even though with an education it's hard for me to get a job, or um, just going through um, that life, and we just ask these questions of like, why is it like this? Why isn't it like this? So as these months go, I'm interested because I'm honestly not even tapped into the politics just because it can get tiring. It can really get tiring. But as I'm trying to get my mindset ready because I already know people start acting different when they get to political season. Everybody start acting a little. You know how I get. So
I
it's
saw
about to
some of
be
that stuff
some.
today. Yep.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
I saw some of that stuff today. I went to a gun show today. I know you know, but I saw some of that stuff today. How people getting people putting their line in the sand. They putting their line in the sand. I'm on this side. So
Hey,
yeah.
I'm from, I'm from Alabama, so Birmingham. So anybody that's from Alabama, you already know how to get. Oh, then I know this off topic a little bit, but we driving, I think, through Charlotte, going like past the state line, North Carolina. Kid, I kid you not. It's a
I already
Confederate
know.
flag, looks
I already
huge,
know, bro.
just waving. I said, no, they not. It was just this. I'm
USA,
like
USA, USA.
anybody that want to argue with me, I'm comments. Let's go. But the Confederate flag. Whenever I see the Confederate flag, first off, y'all lost. That's one. Second off, when I see the Confederate flag, I see a flag that says, "We wish slavery would have still been intact." I don't care what you say. The Civil War wasn't about this. This. When I see a Confederate flag, and I know people gonna have it at their rallies, going to different events, supporting certain candidates. But when I see a Confederate flag as a black man, I feel like you're not saying, "Well, I'm just supporting my heritage." What did that say? I or this entity of the Confederacy, I wish slavery was never abolished. That's what I see. And it's 2024. I'm driving my wife, just having a great time. And I said, "Baby, look at that." And it was just interesting because politics. It's nothing wrong having an opinion on who you think should be in office. There's nothing wrong having an opinion with who what things you want to change. Everybody has an opinion. God made us all unique and different. But when it comes down to it, we got to have moral and ethical values. What do you value? Do you value human life? Do you value the care of the next person to you, or do you just value yourself? And we were rooted, and our country was founded on hatred, on slavery. We can say whatever we want. I mean, celebrate a holiday that has nothing to do with the establishment of the United States. So that's my question. As we get into politics, who do we support? Do we support people that still hold on to the past, not really knowing and having ignorance of the history? Or do we support somebody that says, you know what, they're not perfect, they don't have to be perfect, but they want change for the better? We've
Yeah.
we haven't come this far in 2024 to still digress and go back to where I see a Confederate flag like huge. I don't anybody know what I'm talking about, but you know what I'm talking about. Huge flag. I'm just like, where are we? Like,
Yeah, and I mean,
so
it's funny. It's funny, bro, because we talk about candidates and stuff like that. Like I'm saying, bro, you could get a microphone in the camera,
yeah, this
and
is
you
black,
could
this is
go
black.
swaying in the wind, like long hair behind you. It's
Oh
my
my, oh
heritage,
my
bro.
god.
Some people just want to show off their heritage, bro. It's like a sports flag to them.
My father fought the Confederacy. Well, your
Well,
father or your grandfather, whatever, supported that. Like, that is
but yeah, this what I was getting at, bro. It's like you could take a microphone and the camera and go out to any major city, even a small town, and ask people certain questions. And I guarantee you they're gonna believe in different candidates, but they're gonna have similar answers. I guarantee, like I said earlier, most people want to make more money. I guarantee almost everybody wants to get taxed less. Even the rich people who can afford it want to get taxed less. I guarantee most people want better health care. But that's what I'm saying, bro. It's weird how everybody pretty much wants the same thing, right? But it's weird how red and blue, or however you want to phrase it, what's the animals? An elephant. And what's the other one? I don't even know what the other one is for the
like
Democrat
a
Republic.
donkey or something. A
Yeah,
donkey.
it's weird how both sides can say, okay, then the country of America wants the same exact thing. Everybody wants the same thing. Now, how do we stir it and make it slightly different or make them hate each other? You get what I'm saying, bro? But that's what it's funny. It's like when you see two people argue, two little kids arguing about the same thing. It's like that's what we look like sometimes because we all want the same thing, but it's me watching Fox News has made me express how I want that differently. Me watching CNN has made me express how I want the same exact thing as you differently. Right? It's just weird, bro. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, it's definitely a mind game. Like these people who run these corporations, these news shows. I mean, it's some deep psychology into how me and Brian want the same exact thing, but because I'm blue and he's red, we express it completely differently, and we argue. I mean, just like you take last thing, you take mass shootings for a thing. For example, nobody wants kids or innocent people to be shot. Nobody. School shootings. Nobody wants kids to be shot at all. But somehow, some way, we're both sides express that, but it sounds completely different, and it sounds like we hate each other. I mean,
It's
nobody wants
good.
that. Whether you a pro Second Amendment activist or you scared of guns to death, nobody wants kids to be shot and die. But both sides, when it comes to saying I don't want that, and I don't want that, it sounds like we arguing, bro. Like it's just interesting, man. I mean, psychology was almost
And
my minor, it pretty much was, but it's just interesting, bro.
or it's like, why are these arguments talked about versus we want to take care of, or we care for our kids, we care for a group that's been marginalized, or like mass shootings, for example. Why is it a political battle in comments? This is the left. This is the problem with the right. Oh, the humanistic side of life and death to me is getting caught up in, which I will say, Kia, I don't agree. Everybody don't want the same thing. In electoral college, systems and businesses were put in place for power and control. So that's even why it's one of my favorite shows. I love. We binge watch it all the time. I love Shark Tank, and I look at it and I learn a lot about. If you want to learn, just sidebar. If you want to learn a lot about business terminology, like stuff like stake equity, watch Shark Tank. I love seeing different ideas. But even when it
How to
comes
pitch,
to
how to pitch.
how to pitch, how to be able to get investments, because one thing about it when it comes to finances, anybody that's rich will tell you they love debt. Because why would I start a business with my own money when I can get Mark Cuban's money, I can get Kevin O'Leary's money? I have $500,000. Some of them business owners have it, but I want to get that money in a sense with debt, so I'm not using my own money. But back to the point, I love entrepreneurship, and that's a great show to watch. But I feel like even when it comes to entrepreneurship and businesses, everybody wants the same thing that's in certain groups. So you got groups that are the bosses, the CEOs, and I see a lot of exponential growth. Like they always want to grow, they always want their business to do certain things. But when it comes down to valuing employees, I feel like for me, if I was a business owner, I want to build a team of entrepreneurs. I want to build a team of people that can one day be in a seat like mine. We don't live in a country where you will start something and you want that same thing for everybody else. We've historically started things, created entities, and to make sure that we maintain power and control over those things, we restrict it, or we put in different things that subliminal you might not catch, but it's a reason so you can be able to just come right back to the job, come right back to the job. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just feel like when it gets down to ethical, moral, and we talk about voting, I don't know if you can really vote for a candidate that truly, genuinely wants what's best for you in every situation. Because if that's the case, why is the rich always getting richer? And we see with inflation, why is the poor technically getting poorer? So it's just, I'm a question guy. I ask a lot of rhetorical, I ask a lot of questions why, but I hope and pray that one day, I'm asking the questions now, but one day we can be in a position to be able to change some things. And one man can shift and help change the world. One man or woman can help shift and change the world, but it's gonna take more than just one person helping changing a lot of things that were systematically put in place. And I mean, just like prison systems, it's like so many conversations that revolve around that control. So man, but so final question: are you gonna vote this upcoming year?
Yes. Easy answer. I mean, it's like, well, not an easy answer, but I mean, it's a right, it's a privilege, bro, and especially for a minority. I mean, it's like we didn't always have this, so yes, I'm gonna vote. Yes, I mean, I may not like the candidate. I'll do some more research, but I'm gonna try to always vote for the rest of my life. I'm gonna try to always vote. I had to go 20 years without it, 16 years without it. So
Okay, yeah, and I'm gonna do vote as well, and I think my wife and I, we will value the voting from an aspect of just respecting the privilege, because we can take for granted a lot of privileges, man. Being able to drive a car, being able to have a job, that's something that seems small, but it's a blessing. We have a lot of small blessings in life, so it's a privilege that I think we need to take, you know, advantage of, and find out things. We can be educated on voting. We can learn about historically different candidates and different things. Like I said, personally, I'm gonna go deep into candidates. Like I don't mind voting for a candidate that's not traditional, just because if I want change in certain aspects, I gotta start acting and doing things that aren't traditional with the ways that I wish were different. So I know this episode we've been talking about a lot of deep stuff, politics, gentrification, entertainment, equality. So we always like to finish our episode with some trendy, fun type of news or different things. But video game lovers, college football lovers, we're back. ESPN, or the EA college football game, will be the full reveal. When does it come out? In June?
according to the PlayStation Store, they're gonna release a release date. I think next month, but it's probably gonna come out this summer, May, June. But
Okay.
on the PlayStation
So
Store and
for
the
me,
Xbox Store, it says they're gonna release a release date next month.
so I know for me, it's like I stopped playing video games few years ago. The last NCAA football game came out in 2014, so that's we're getting old, man. That was
Woo!
10 years ago.
It's like GTA, baby.
So aren't they released? Well, I won't play that. I don't play those games. But um, all the pew pew, that's too much for me. But but the uh, the games coming out. I don't have a console, so I need. Should I get an Xbox? Should I get a P5? I don't know what I should get, but I probably only have one game, and that is NCAA
It's gonna be
football
that game.
25. I have one game. I told Kill I'm gonna get like a sorry team. I'm gonna have my you know we're having kids soon, so I'm probably having my son Brian Simpson third, 5-star quarterback lefty dual threat. I'm be on that game all day. But
First game throwing five picks versus an SEC school.
nope,
You can't handle the pressure.
nope. I'm gonna get on my Twitter and be like transfer portal when we like I'm getting on there. So it was the official like trailer was released February 15th. So that got everybody hyped, man. Because it's just the game. You're a gamer and you didn't break the news about your channel with the subs. I gotta do that. But you're a gamer. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like a lot of these games are becoming saturated. That's why the community of college football lovers are so excited because you got 2K Madden, and from what I hear, it's like carbon copies of the game from the last year. See, you play Call of Duty, but how do you, I mean, I don't know if you're like a football lover like that, but how do you think this is enriching for the
Bro,
gaming community?
for a gamer, a true gamer has no category. Like a true gamer is not
Okay.
just only into sports games, only into Call of Duty, only into role playing games. A true gamer plays has it's like it's like an artist. A true artist can do country, rap, sing, blues, whatever, jazz, make beats, play instruments. I mean, think of it like that. Like a musician can play not any instrument, but play a variety of instruments. Same thing with gamers, bro. I mean, I remember playing NCAA as a kid. That shit is fun. And I mean, from the gamer world, there's a few games coming out soonish or in the future that people are most excited for. NCAA 25 is one, and GTA 6
Okay.
is another. That's why I said GTA earlier. GTA 5 has been out since 2013, Brian. People still play it every day. It's very popular. But back to the subject, bro. I'm excited for this. I remember when I used to play it as a kid. I think I played it the last year. I can't remember. The last year it was out. But you started off in high school, so you made your
That
play
road
and
to
start off
glory.
as a yeah. You start off as a high school kid, and then I mean, bro, like people are excited about it, bro. And then obviously, I
Glory
mean, I know we're
days.
gonna get yeah. I know we're gonna get into the topic of kind of not NILs, but how they're paying the athletes for their rights, things like that, bro. But the gaming world is excited. Like I said, it's funny because next month is March. We're getting a release date for the release date of the game next month. You get what I'm saying? So we're kind of getting
I
like
think
two
it said
release
May
dates.
though.
Oh,
I think the release
May
date
or
is
March.
May, and then again.
Yeah, it's definitely coming out this summer, bro. But I mean, people are excited, man. I'm a PlayStation guy. I think Sony's superior, but some people could tell you different things. But if you talk about getting a console, I say get a PlayStation 5. I mean, but yeah, bro,
Yeah.
people are excited, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's more than just college football fans, but it's just fun to do something like that. I mean, I know if you have social media, you have seen the memes of my quarterback taking his NIL money and transferring with my 5-star. Like I know you've seen the memes of everybody joking around about the game, bro. Like people are excited, man. Like that's one thing I like about the gaming community. The gaming brings people together. Whether you're an old head who
Mm.
played Mario Kart back in the day, or you're a 12-year-old kid who's cracked out on Fortnite with $1,000 PC, gaming brings people together.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, you just informed me because I thought I didn't know because certain gamers had like their niche of like they do strictly fighting
Yeah,
games or
there's
whatever. Game
definitely those
okay,
two, but a true
yeah.
gamer plays a variety. But there's definitely gamers who only
Honestly, this
play whatever.
this would be so trendy, and a lot of people like college football. And the thing I think that is clever from EA is they're releasing the game right before the college football season. So getting into the details of EA Sports. So this is they will have all 134 FBS schools.
So, what does FBS stand for? I keep hearing FBS schools. What does that mean?
Yeah. So the game is going to consist of 134 of FBS. So FBS stands for Football Bowl Subdivision. So I'm assuming that's a superior division than the FCS, which is Football Championship Subdivision. So those are the schools like you heard of North Dakota State, like they always kill in FCS, and then FBS you got the Alabamas, the Ohio States, the Michigan.
Okay.
So I mean, I understand. I guess with that because I know EA Sports that is a lot to get all those teams, and then now they ask the players basically, for one, do you want to opt into the game? So you get $600 if you're a Division 1 FBS player to
Get a
opt
free
in,
copy.
and you get a free copy of the game. So a lot of people talking about, oh, that's not a lot of money, which I was like, you really look at it, but it's a lot of players that got to get the money to 11,000 players, $600, about 6.6 million. So it's a lot of players that got to play. But I have been seeing EA Sports has been paying like Travis Hunter or like top players in college to promote it on their page. So I know they probably get other deals. So I mean, I think it's cool because another question that's been talked about is, would you be in the game for free? I mean, personally, you think about it like, I want money, but in reality, it's nothing like you make my player in 2K. You like playing as yourself on the game. So
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
a lot of college athletes are not gonna look at the 600 and be like, well, is this it? They're gonna be like, man, I'm just blessed to be in the game. So a lot of them have, I think all, if not all, have already opted into the game. So that's
yeah,
pretty cool.
and it's also like, I mean, just being real, $600 isn't that much money now. It's like if
What
I wasn't
student
in
it
the
is?
game, well, yeah. But I'm saying like now, if it was like for me to get in the game, I got to sign a piece of paper that's worth $1 million. Then yeah, pay me to be in the game. But if it's like $600, bro, I mean, and then it's like, bro, if Caleb Williams or Travis Hunter said no, it's obvious who number 12 is for Colorado. Like it's just obvious, bro. When they're gonna look the exact same. But I mean, yeah, bro, whether you're in the game or not, you're gonna be in the game. Because you're gonna make your player that's in the game. So, but at the end of the day, it's like,
Okay,
bro,
it's
six
just the
hundred.
name on the back.
Yeah, but $600 to these kids nowadays just making NILs, bro. Like free or not, they gonna be in the game.
I saw one guy in the comments. He said, "I don't care about the money. I'm trying to be in the game. I already signed." He said, "I already signed the contract." Because my biggest thing is, especially over the years, we had those conversations of like the Tim Tebow's, the Johnny Manziel's, who, well, I think this was before Johnny Manziel. Okay, but Tim Tebow, I remember playing with Tim Tebow on NCAA back in the day, and it was like I kind of feel for those guys because you had for Florida, you had number 15. Everybody know a number 15 left-handed quarterback is Tim Tebow. You knew who that was. So I feel for the guys that have gone on and that wish they had their name actually in the game. And it's really about the pride. It's like it's some people that still play NCAA 14 to this day just because technology is amazing like that. So being able to show your kids, hey, I didn't make it to the NFL or whatever, but I'm in a video game. This is really me. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it. They said it's not gonna be like Madden. I don't play Madden either, but I'm a gamer now. So I'm about to be playing online with people. I'm about to be doing a road to glory. Somebody said they
Bro,
about to have a dynasty with Citadel. I saw a guy say he about to have a 6-year streak with Citadel. It's gonna be hilarious, bro.
I'm telling you, bro, it's gonna be fun. Like I'm telling you, I'm gonna go ahead and make my 6'9" quarterback. I might do a 6'9" wideout too. Just I gotta put myself in the game if I went down football as a path instead of basketball. You get what I'm saying, bro? I mean, 6'9" quarterback from
We,
Charlotte.
we can talk about your story of football on another day. But
And Carolina with 4 straight championships led by the tallest quarterback in college football history. Six
what
nine,
team?
one
What team are you?
seventy.
What team are you gonna sign with?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I gotta see how the game's gonna turn out. Like if it's gonna be like when you start off in high school and all that. I mean, I think it's a no brainer for me. I'm probably gonna do Carolina at least once. But I mean, I don't know because I don't really follow college football like that. So I don't even know Carolina can have some terrible receivers. I mean, I don't know. I think, but I mean, it's,
I'm
it's
thinking about
definitely
both.
something. It's
Go
definitely
ahead, go ahead.
something you're gonna do where you do it multiple times. So I'm gonna have multiple players on multiple different teams and multiple positions. I mean, it's not no set team. It's gonna be every team, and I'm gonna be a lineman. I'm gonna be a receiver. I might be a coach,
I'm,
water
I'm
boy.
gonna let you be alone. I'm
I
gonna
mean,
let you
I
be
know, I
alone.
know, I know. In the old days, you could be a linebacker, so you could pretty much play on the line. But I mean, I don't know. And that's another thing too. People keep talking about all this extra stuff with the game, especially because it's been 10 years since the last one. I do wonder how in depth they're gonna go. Like, am I gonna be, going to class? Am I gonna be able to get on my fake Twitter on the game? I mean, you get what I'm saying, bro? Like, it's been 10 years now. How? I mean, we see what AI's done in the last 365 days. But I mean, bro, like, how in depth is this game gonna go? Like I said, am I gonna be signing NILs? Am I gonna be going to class? I mean, or is it just going to be not like Madden, but pretty much only you can only do stuff on the field?
And then even just think about the complexities with making all the stadiums for the home fields, like 134 fields. That's why people got to realize too. I don't know. EA seems like they're not rushing, but they know that people are waiting on the game. But 3D technology, how they're gonna make all of the different stadiums and the different looks, and so that's the part I think all of the teams like they're reaching out to the schools and saying, and a lot of schools are tweeting or posting, "We're in the game, Appalachian State. We're in the game, Alabama." Like so, EA Sports they got a lot up their sleeve, and either way, even if it's a flop, they're gonna still make a lot of sales just because we haven't had the game in a while. But like you said, I throw for 500 yards. I get on my Twitter. Hey, what was that y'all was talking about before the game? And then you can do like
I'm
a
saying,
rating
bro.
of like you can do like a kind of like 2K does. Could your fans go up or down, team around? So EA Sports, if y'all use that idea,
But that's what I'm
Perspective
saying, bro.
Podcast.
I want them to do it where it was like high school game. Am I gonna have a signing day to where I walk in, I press X on my controller to make my player do his little weak ass signature, and I put the hat on, hold the jersey up? I mean, like it's gonna be tough,
Oh,
bro. It's gonna be tough.
it's funny. It's- bro, that would be fire. Like when like you play, because I think you started your junior year in Road to Glory. And well,
Yeah.
like junior senior, you got all your offers, and then just say you could pick your top five, or you can have a
Am I gonna
guy
have an
or
edit, a commitment edit?
if
I'm
I
just
gonna have a
saying, bro.
commitment edit,
But that's what I'm saying. It's
EA
been
Sports.
10 years. It's been 10 years.
I'm a, ooh, you just get my idea. I'm a DM EA Sports right now and be like, if y'all want a commitment edit template for the game, wait, enough said.
Here you go. Here
Enough
you
said.
go. It's gonna
No,
be
I'm really
crazy,
looking
bro.
forward to
Like,
that, man.
yeah,
We gonna
no, it's
see.
it's it's definitely gonna be crazy, bro. Like, I wonder how in depth it's gonna be because I mean, I'm a true gamer. I feel like I'm gonna be looking for all the behind the scenes stuff, like all the stuff I can do not related to throwing a touchdown, or catching a touchdown, making a tackle. I'm looking for all that stuff right there. Can I talk to my coach? Am I picking my
Mm.
major? Am I having a little shawty on my side? I mean, I know with 2K used to have a good storyline, but you looking
Oh
for all
my
your story.
god.
You got your girlfriend, you got the fans, you got friends. I mean, I just wonder how in depth it's gonna be, bro. But it's definitely gonna be tough.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, man, just y'all let us know what y'all think about that game. Y'all let us know what y'all think about the episode. Um, we're back. We're gonna try to be more consistent with our videos now, and we're just blessed. We're in a great position in our life, and only up from here. So as we always say at the end, two perspectives, one podcast. It's the Perspective Pod. It's your boy B Sims with Cale, and we out.
Appreciate y'all for watching, man. See you next time.